Your favorite team has just won the championship. You and your buddies begin to celebrate as a wad of cash is passed to you for winning the bet about who would win the championship. You go to bed that night feeling really good about yourself. You wake up the next morning to learn that your team has had to forfeit due to all their drug tests coming back positive for doping. You might need to give your buddy back his money now. Many people in the South enjoy sports and a lot talk about nothing but. Most also have had at least one team get in trouble for some sort of doping. I've researched this topic for weeks and have also done an informative speech over this video. Today I'm going to persuade you to join the fight against doping in every single aspect of sports. Today I will tell you about why doping is a problem for everyone, my solution to the problem, and what the world would be like without doping. First, I'm going to tell you about how doping is a problem for everyone. Doping has grown to be a big problem over the years, not only for athletes and sports fans, but also for the general public. According to the World Anti-Doping Agency, in 2015, confirmed doping cases had increased by 20.8% over 2014, in which there was 3,153 confirmed cases. This has led to many athletes getting in trouble for many athletes getting in trouble and having their titles stripped from them. This also affects young athletes who dope. According to a study done by Griffith University, in which 900 kids were asked if they had ever used performance-enhancing drugs, 4%, 36, said yes. And 20% of young athletes caught using performance-enhancing drugs say that they were influenced by a role model, usually an athlete that uses performance-enhancing drugs. Doping is just a form of cheating. Those athletes that do this do not have to work hard to gain muscle or get stronger. Instead, they just pay to get bigger. Doping also has many bad side effects. Steroids are not good for the body whatsoever. It can cause heart failure, weakness, anger, extreme acne, testicular shrinkage in men, infertility for both sexes, and death is also a very likely solution if an athlete overdoses, which most do in order to get bigger. The worst part, though, is that most young athletes have begun to use counterfeit drugs. This is due to not having enough money to actually buy the real deal and seeing a cheap substitute which promises the same effects definitely attracts people's interest. Only problem is that these drugs just give the side effects, not the good parts, and will also kill a person, especially if they overdose. Now that I've told you about why doping is a problem for everyone, I'm going to tell you about my solution to this problem. I'm going to create an organization that lobbies against doping with legislators, businesses, teams, and with ESPN. In order to start this organization up, I'm going to contact as many people as possible and get those people to also contact people that they know. If you want to join, go to totallyreal@gmail.com to contact me. This organization will not have a set meeting place to keep the costs at a minimum. The only real cost will be the stamps and letters, which will be sent by the members. There will be a set of custom envelopes sent by the organization yearly that are paid by the $20 yearly dues. Once the organization has made enough money, a website will be created as well as an ad campaign started to get the word about the organization and also get the word out about doping. We will send letters mainly because it's a lot harder ignore a stack of papers than it is to ignore something that you could get rid of with the click of a button, like an email or a voicemail. Once we have, this organization will get the word out and convince businesses and businesses to shun doping, get ESPN to stop coverage of teams that use performance-enhancing drugs, and legislators to pass laws against this. Most athletes dope to earn more money, but if doping causes them to lose money, this will also probably contribute to them to stop doping. This decrease in professionals using performance-enhancing drugs will also lead to a decrease in young athletes using performance-enhancing drugs, because there will be less influence on them. With laws passed against doping, this will also lead to real legal consequences for those young athletes that use performance-enhancing drugs. Now that I've told you about the problem and how to fix it, I'm going to tell you about what life would be like without doping. Doping brings shame onto athletics. It leads to cheating and people just not working hard at all to get what they want. And plus, who wants their kid to trade having babies in order to just have muscle and win some more games? Counterfeit drugs also lead to many children having many young athletes dying due to overdose. Now imagine a world without doping. Athletics will be clean again, and we won't have to worry about athletes just wasting money on drugs. Instead, the only way to cheat is physical, which is very hard to do with all these different cameras everywhere. Less demand also means less counterfeit drugs, which will lead to less overdosing deaths. And no longer will you have to watch your favorite team and then have to recant everything you've ever said good about them. And parents will no longer have to worry about a kid dying due to overdose. And less doping means less doping equals more credibility to all the different sports teams around the world, and less counterfeit drugs means less deaths for young athletes. Today we have talked about the problem of doping, what we will do about doping, and what the world will be like without doping. Today you should join my organization and help in the fight, help in the setting up of the organization as well as the fight against doping. Maybe if you had already helped, you wouldn't be having to give your money back to your buddy.